Welcome back to the CCL. Starting you off with this week 3 Bravo streams. Myself, Seymour, alongside Proper. We're bringing you quite the matchup for the start of this week number 3. So let's dive right into that one, Proper.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this one because, I mean, again, what's really awesome to be able to cast over the collegiate Call of Duty scene for the past few seasons for me, Seymour, is to be able to see the addition of teams, to be able to see how many more teams are just going to be added into the mix and what they have to offer. I mean for this CSULB squad, California State University of Long Beach, we're seeing their gold roster after being able to see what their black roster had to offer early on versus another no-name team of Utah University, at least for me, the Crimson Gaming roster coming in. And although their win-loss ratio, CSULB Gold being 1-3, and Utah University Crimson Gaming only be at 0-4, not the best looking, it's still nice to be able to see these narratives built nevertheless.
Well, both of them definitely new into this, and seeing them struggle at the start isn't surprising because you look at who they're going up against and their whole matchups. I mean, they've been going up against top tier teams that the CCL has to offer. So when you look at it, like at the bare bones, they did their best, but it was like a lot of them were givens that they were going to drop those starting matchups for both of these teams. You're looking at the series now, though, against each other, where you might be able to see a little bit of a redemption between the two of them. You might be able to see a little bit comfort after this game, a little bit of confidence built up for these squads.
And that would definitely be helpful because, I mean, it's like you already said. I mean, within this conference of West, within the Pacific Division, this A division, Seymour, I mean, it's already so stacked. I mean, you do have Oregon Green not within the top 25 that just got posted to CCL's Twitter not too long ago. Number 23 of University of Arizona, the Wildcats. And then you also have number 21 of University of Colorado Boulder Black, one of which Utah University have unfortunately had the dishonest pleasure of facing already within their 0-4 a season thus played. And I mean, that's also really what's really nice just about the way that CCL is formatted this season, that this is the first split, so you can still get a feel for it. And keep in mind, these are collegiate athletes, right? So
Yeah.
they are focused on their studies first rather than being a pro esports athlete at the same time. But still, to be able to see what's learned from split one into split two ahead of all the playoffs at the end of the season, it still begs the question for what these truly have to offer.
And we look at both of these rosters moving into the series for tonight. I mean, starting off on Crossroads is going to be our map number 1. And then we're going to move to Raid S&D for map 2. Our map 3 is going to be Checkmate Control. If we go the distance, it's a Checkmate Hardpoint as well as a Garrison S&D. But we do have the lobby. It's starting to get ready. They're ready to hop into this. So why don't we talk a little bit about Crossroads Hardpoint for these teams?
And Crossroads Hardpoint, this is actually the second time, at least to our website, which you could definitely go check out at collegecod.com to get all the scoop, all the stats that all of our stat wizards in the back end are working all season long for you all. But this is the second time that both these teams are coming here. Crimson Gaming, they did come here to actually lose to NMSU Esports. That's New Mexico State University. And that score line was just about 100 points in between the two. And then I believe the last time that the side of CSULB Gold were here, that they did end up winning it, but it was pretty tight. You're looking at the subs, and you're also just looking at ARs. Mostly, you're just looking to keep your head on a swivel for these teams because Crossroads Strike is such a small map. You really got to be looking in every single direction and paying attention to rotation.
Well, right away, let's hop right into this week number 3 for the Bravo stream. CSULB Gold over on the gold side. To your left, Crimson Gaming, the red team on the right. And already a contested point number 1 for this Crossroads. We're looking at Gyoza to kind of push out for these point 2 spawns, make sure that CSL or Cali State can hold on to these point 2 because it's going to be crucial to their start.
Absolutely be nice to have those P2 spawns to make it very easy go ahead of yourself. But setting up on P1's not too bad, but you got to be careful here. I mean, these trades are not going to be in your favor for Crimson Gaming. Not too long. They're going to have to really count their spawns. And, well, Daddy Matty is actually going to be able to spawn in over by that pop-up truck, over by those carton containers. You're going to be able to help other teammates out as they work across these sandbags. But P2 is about to come active just in about 3 seconds, and it's a little bit of a foot race for reinforcements.
And if Daddy Matty can win this gunfight, it'd be huge. Prism picks him up, so that's going to give it over to Cali State. But luckily, you do have the spawns right now. Crimson holding on to this contention right now, and even coming out on top. Randy finally clearing it for Cali State to hop onto this. They got a 10-point lead right away at the start, but spawns have flipped once again, and Crimson Gaming are back on this hard point. So really back and forth between both of these teams at the start of this game.
Far not too bad. Break and hold. So far good for Crimson Gaming. Now you're looking to deal with just the last two players. Fizzle and Randy, they do double on down, so that means they will stand here for the time being. So close spawns for Crimson Gaming. So the fight over scrap time is here, and it is quite apparent, but it's one in a few numbers that CSULB Gold just won't have for the rotation over towards the Fire Hill. And so far, I mean, Mike is just doing everything they possibly can to deal with Prism Hunter, who will finally go down. But as far as numbers are concerned, these are the two hills that you really want to be fighting the spawns over Seymour. 3 to 4. This is where a lot of leads and a lot of comebacks are made.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that point 3 and point 4. Definitely huge for this. And already Crimson locking down for a ton of time. You got to watch Randy here. He's going to be good for 1 and almost find the second one, choking the shots. Maddie drops, so Randy is good for that kill. Can't pick up the third, so should be able to hold on to top rock there. Unfortunately, Crimson's actually going to spawn back through this map. CSU, they are going to block out that back spawn and lock down this point. So very big pickup and an early break from Cali State.
Oh man, Fizzle actually almost found 3 there. Gonna leave Maddie weak enough for Randy to clean them up, but that was actually just a massive play. And I sat here just staring at the minimap, just trying to see where Randy ended up spawning. They did spawn over by the big rock. Crimson Gaming already had 2 players that were not past mid-map yet, so the spawns got broken up. So now you have CSULB Gold in the mix. They are only 30 points ahead, but this hill, P4, is where you can get solid 40, 50 hills, but are you going to read the spawn to the back? I think Crimson Hunter might have an idea. They might have seen a head or two. All of the arrows for Cali State University Long Beach Gold have turned around, but the kills are coming up Crimson.
Yeah, and Calcat there, a big one-on-one, does get cleaned up as Prism, you know, that man that we've been watching for CSU, grabs it. It's going to shake it up for a little bit at the start, but Crimson's still holding on to it. Mike is going to be holding on to this time with the team slaying it around him. Good for a trade as both teams just back and forth right now in this. We talked about the story between them both and, you know, struggled in hard points against past teams. This should kind of be a good pointer to, at their level, who is the better at hard point between Crimson and CSU. Randy picks up the last one. It's going to be good for CSU, but it's not getting any points. So these kills are just, I guess it's just going to be good for the spawn, and they're going to be right back at where they started for the 0.4 spawns back into the first hard point.
Pretty scrappy first set of hills here, Seymour, but I mean, it's still going to be a little bit of a buffer. CSULB Gold again on the opposite end of the P2 spawns, like you were noting on. Now going to be looking for Crimson Gaming's in an attempt to be able to come back from this 60-ish point deficit. Here for the initial time, Randy is just trying to finesse through the middle of the map, couldn't get the reload in time, but gonna get challenged. You also have player number 3 up, Prison Hummer. Gifted a spawn, and it's trying to shake things up a little bit. Crimson Gaming are now going to spawn over by the cargo container, and now with these kills that Prison Hummer were able to find, means that it's map control that CSULB Gold are going to be able to bring.
Yeah, fortunately for Crimson Gaming, you see Prism spawns all the way back at point number 4, so they're going to have a little bit of leeway now in the fights for the second hardpoint. Prism doing it all right now on the first hardpoint, locking down as much as he can for his team, and holding them on to this lead that they have, but eventually it does get broken. You're still holding on to point 2 spawns. You look at number 1, Goiza, who's actually losing it out and leaving it up to Randy to pull these spawns out, a one-on-one between Daddy Matty, and he's going to lock it down. Crimson holding on to point 2 now.
Holding on. This is still the setup. P2 has yet to pop, but just look at the lead and what Cali State University Long Beach is able to find. Double the amount of score of Crimson Gaming and what they've been able to hold. So this hold has to be big. If Crimson Gaming want to come back into this game, this has to start right now. Maddie's going to be able to at least find one, but you still have some numbers that are just fiddling inside the hill, just finessing. Prism Hunter was almost good for another in there, and that would have been the break, but Crimson Gaming still hold the close spawn, so they will be able to reinforce this hill. But CSULB Gold, even if they don't break the spawns here, Seymour, they're still going to feel okay with the contested time, given that they have the lead and the spawns from 3 to 4.
And the thing is, for Crimson there, you're looking at Calcat, who is 21 and 16, really having a good start here for the team. You just have to look at somebody like Haywire, who has had an upsetting start to the CCL season. You have to have him show up to back up on that AR role to allow for a map like Crossroads to provide that long distance. You know, you lock down those long angles, you lock down the routes, and I mean, Haywire, with a slow start to this, you know, he really picked it up in that point number 2. So moving over into the history of this point 3 to point 4, Crimson, they had a lot of success here, and they're down by a lot, so they really have to kind of bunker down and lock down these next 2 hard points.
Big reach from Calcat to get Gyoza out from the cliff path, and now we have just a big old sprawl inside the hill. Prism Hunter's going to be able to find 2, though Fizzle's just trying to hit their hand with the Diamati. Could be space for Randy to come in here and try to clean things up with a couple weak players. Good for 2. How about 3? 22 and 16. You want to talk about a hot hand here. A quick start for Gold in their SMG lineup. Look no further than Randy D is going to be able to find a good couple kills, but you got to be careful here in towards the spawns, and this is where Crimson Gaming might be able to come back in towards this game, but CSULB Gold, they're just vibing, they're taking it, they're waiting until the rest of their members come on through. Streaks are online, keep in mind for Crimson Gaming, so even if they do get broken up here, Seymour, they're going to be able to use the streaks to get it back.
Fizzle, big one-on-one. He's traded from Maddie. But it is going to give Gyoza a little bit of leeway now. Daddy Matty in the point, trying to lock this down. You have 7 seconds just to stay alive, just to make sure that this is a toss-up for the spawns. Gyoza picks it up. You're looking now if Cali State can hold on to this. Fizzle picks up the last one. They're going to hold on to top rock, and they're even going to have streaks to push back Crimson even farther here. Daddy Matty pulls his out, though, and he finds 2 in the back. So an opening now for Crimson to pull this back.
Yeah, big cruise missile, like I was talking about for Crimson, and try to work their way across the north lane and try to get their hands over towards the 10 hard point. It's unsuccessful. Now the artillery strike from Daddy Matty. It only finds 1, but it's Calcat 74U that cleans up 2, so that way they can finally get their way over towards the 10, and it's Daddy Matty on a 4 spree. There's number 5. Spray is good from range, but will get gunned by the spawns over by the big rock from CSULB Gold, who are past the 200-point threshold, who won't be able to close up the game here, but ahead of the 3rd set of hills, they are, again, double the amount that Crimson Gaming have been able to have. I mean, just look at the kills from top to bottom. You would think that Crimson Gaming, they're not too far out of it, but it's just the setups. Crimson Gaming have been getting broken continuously, and their setups just really haven't been all that stall-worthy.
Well, this is a big change now going into point 1 for Cali State, as they're going to have the favorable point 2 spawns as well here, as Prism was the one to lock that down. They're going to hold on to these spawns, spawn back up on sandbags. They're going to lock onto this point. Maddie, a one-on-one here. Prism Hunter pulls streaks of his own, going to clear the point with a 3K with the score streak. They need to lock this down. They need to hop on because, like we say, it's winnable. Mike in the backline for Crimson might be able to uproot them off of this point. They need a hero play here. Mike's trying to be that player. Can't find the second. Gyoza going to lock it down now. Only 10 seconds left to win out on this hard point. Fizzle's going to be holding off on that front line push. I don't like this read right now from Crimson. They have to contest it. Only 2 more seconds, and nobody's here to lock it down. So that's going to be Cali State taking the hard point with a very uncontested last hard point.
Yeah, and it's uncontested just again. Not to say that the SMGs from Crimson Gaming from Utah weren't winning gunfights. They definitely had their interactions, but it was winning key gunfights. And it was what they did with those key gunfight wins for Cali State University Long Beach Gold that was all the more, that made the map all more accessible. And I think that's just one of the biggest things when you are looking at teams and the difference when you're looking at a map crossroad strike hardpoint, because it does take a while to break inside those P2 spawns. Normally with certain hardpoints like Garrison, for example, it's only one convincing gunfight to break inside the P3 spawns, given that how narrow east to west that entire map is, but how long it is on the other hand, where crossroad strike is very small square that you have to really work hard to break inside those spawns, because at any given moment they can end up getting those closer spawns for each individual hill. But the way that CSULB Gold were able to win those gunfights and then slowly take the map away from gaming, especially on the second set of hardpoints on from 3 or from 2 to closing out from that set, it was just something you got to write home about it. And I guess that's also something that you can note on, because again, when you're looking at the CSULB Gold roster, their sister team of CSULB Black, they are number 4, so you can only imagine that they're probably sharing some trade secrets, if not scrimming each other.
Definitely a team to learn from, and you provide a very good example there that those guns were definitely slaying for Crimson Gaming. I mean, you even look at the point 4, the last point 4 that we saw, that Daddy Matty dropped the streaks there, found a couple kills onto CSU, but the majority of the players who weren't being dropped were being forced off that point into the hands of Calicut. It was the important gunfights that CSU were holding on to and winning, that were allowing them to hold on to the spawns. You just didn't see that, I guess, that pressure to push the spawns away after those score streaks came. So it was very well handled from CSU. It really shows that, yeah, maybe they are learning something from their black team. Maybe they are kind of understanding the flow of the game a little bit better than Crimson is, and knowing what they have to do in those tight situations that they're put into. And that's really going to favor into Search and Destroy. You know, it's a game mode that provides a lot of pressure onto your mental state, onto your strategies. So I want to see if CSU can kind of hold on to that very calm nerves, like the very, I guess, slow strats, the understanding of the game and into Raid S&D, they might even have the edge against Crimson because there's another game mode that they've been struggling on in the past.
Yeah, I mean both squads have, especially for the split one results that we have so far, been struggling almost through every single map mode, game mode combo, apart from the one CSULB Gold roster win over the CSU Rams. But still, when you're looking at Raid Search and Destroy, I mean, this might be a little bit of a comfort factor given that Crimson Gaming have played here 4 times.
Whew.
They have lost to the Wildcats 1-6. They lost to ASU Maroon 0-6. They also lost to CU Black 0-6. But they did beat New Mexico State University 5. On the other side of things, when you're looking at this for CSUOB Gold, their one search and destroy win was against CSU Rams, but that was on Garrison. They did have a very tight search and destroy 6-4 loss versus ASU Maroon. So I guess, especially not having any tape or any way of going back to really look at how that really developed itself, it could end up being a very tight search and destroy match. I guess it really shows what you do in your free time. Do you end up playing a lot of pubs? Do you play a lot of do you play a lot of league play to really work on those pubs, or maybe you play a lot of search and destroy wagers, which I know some college kids love.
And I know you were even telling me before the broadcast that a lot of these teams you might have a toss up for that hard point, but you might be more practiced in search and destroy. So Crimson really knowing their strengths heading to raid. I like to see that from this squad, and Comfort Pit it might be. I mean, it's a classic map, veteran play, very comforting to a lot of players considering that. I mean, it's been out for 7 years. Why not hop into raid S&D? And you're really looking at a comparison between ASU Maroon and this for both squads because that's the team that both of these teams have lost to. It's just when you're looking at a search and destroy match, you look at ASU who 6-0'd California State, but it was a little bit closer for Crimson. So as you say, everything you're saying, everything you're touching on here, definitely something to keep an eye out for the search and destroy.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, for search and destroy, again, this is something that a lot of teams just really need to. I wouldn't necessarily say lockdown early, but your respawns are probably what your main focus is going to go towards before your
Mhm.
search and destroy. But if you have a good search and destroy early on, even for teams like these two that we have here for Long Beach Gold and for the side of Crimson Gaming, although Long Beach do have one series win over Crimson Gaming, sitting at 1-3 versus the 0-4 for Crimson, to have a good search to destroy to know that you could lock that down at least earlier on versus some other opponents, you might be able to get an edge up and you might be able to squeak your way inside of the top half for split number one because you're able to close out close map fives, because you're able to at least guarantee a map four by winning map number two and search and destroy. I feel like it gets overlooked for collegiate teams not to really hunker down on a search and destroy, to really have a very strong playbook early on, because you will find yourself very close in respawns between a good bunch of teams. But if you could really lock down search and destroy, I mean, hell, that'll win you matches, that'll win you championships.
Well, as we do get ready to hop into this game number two, Crimson looking to tie up this series. CSU looking to put them on map point here proper. We're getting ready for this team to see what their brawl looks like on a match, on a game mode like Search and Destroy. So early in this match, maybe if Crimson wants to get this head up, what do you want to see from them early?
I want to be able to see decisive action coming out from either of these. Never go wrong with how teams all the way up to the pro level just really struggle with decisive action. Again, don't have the sniper to help out with things. Nice little tag by doesn't go unnoticed, but a lot of teams lack decisive action. So this Randy D's going to be able to find first blood. Now look at the way this USUB Gold are working throughout the.
Yeah, taking heavy mid control, and you're looking at Randy to continue on his prowess over towards B, but he's going to be dropped, evens out the score for both sides. Gyoza with the bomb in the hand should go over to the A side because they have full control of Kitchen. Should give them the idea that A is available for the plant. So they're going to go to that prism, finds a second one, gives CSU the advantage in this, and they're going to have time on their favor too.
Tough side to take back. The one opening is that you don't have a player directly looking through the middle of the map, so Daddy Matty already going past Zig stairs. It's going to be able to get by unscathed, but Calcat going to eat a couple bullets to their rear ankles. So I give Crimson Gaming the idea, or CSUB Gold the idea of where Crimson are coming from, but they're only down in 20 seconds, so now Crimson, you got to make a play happen.
You're looking at Calcat here to break through this post plant. You got Gyoza and Tiki, Fizzle launching through wheelbarrow. Gyoza's gonna be the first one there. Checks the bomb, takes down Daddy Matty. You have a trade in the feed, but still 10 seconds left. You have to make the move for your Calicut. You're gonna be spotted in bank, and Fizzle picks it up round one to Cali State.
Yeah, and again, it just comes off of that first blood. What you ended up seeing happen on the mini map, and I was talking about it, is they just ended up taking so much space. They recognized there was an opening after finding said first blood over inside of kitchen that they could then rotate down open staircase and take the ASD site, not meeting any resistance over by the basketball court or over by the jungle side of the map in general. So CSU would be gold again. That decisive action again. You want to be able to showcase that early on. It really keeps your opponents on their back foot, just always guessing whether or not those angles are going to be held. Now we're going to see if Crimson Gaming are going to be able to find themselves a little bit of aggressive action as they look inside early.
Big decisiveness as you want to see, but Fizzle, a lot of information. Spots all four on the A side, even coming out with the first blood once again to CSU. Even finding the second one onto Haywire. That's 2 players down. Spots out Daddy Matty, and he's going to take this gunfight. So 3 kills to Fizzle in this round number 2. Last one standing, Calcut. It's going to be a distance to find this ace, but it's hunting season right now for Cali State.
Yeah, and they are just on the move, just trying to find out where Calcat is located at, but Calcat's just trying to double book it. We'll get a 1v1 versus Prism, who's going to drop down on the rocks, given that it's going to give up Calcat's position, but it's going to be able to at least find one, but you can only imagine the trade was going to come through. There it is. So 2 rounds in, both in the favor for Cali State University Long Beach gold roster. But again, when you don't have a player of, say, Frizzle just playing in and out from Laundry, this is what denies these sites from being taken so quickly. Is that when you have an AR, most importantly, the XM4 just checking these windows, trying to make sure that they're not being swarmed when they win close range gunfights like that. Yeah, the B site's pretty much going to be heavily guarded going on forward here.
You had early in round number 1, Randy showing off over to the B side, getting that first blood. But Fizzle really standing on his head there, 4-0 to start off this search and destroy. You're looking at their attack, and they went for really quick mid control last time they were on attack, and it was uncontested by Crimson. In fact, Crimson had, I think, a full 4 stack towards the B side of the map. So you're looking for a little bit more control from Crimson now on their defense and try to pace out CSU to try to hold them back from this attack.
6. Daddy Matty's actually pretty darn close. The one-on-one engagement. That's going to be Gyoza just trying to make their way to the open staircase. They will be first-blooded. Now Daddy Matty's going to look to change their perspective. It's going to slow up Cali State University Long Beach when Matty's just frying like that.
Oh, Matty, some hot shots right now as he's finding his pacing. Fizzle, last one standing. I mean, you had quite the round number 2. Let's see if you can have a round number 3 to remember. As he is just going to be patiently waiting for anything, possibly a flank, just a player to gift themselves maybe a 1-on-3. You have a player in bedroom. One, or the rest of them are going to be over towards B. Matty, totally unknown right now. Is really, if you Fizzle, just looking for something. You got 24 seconds to drop this bomb. Kitchen's completely clear. Checking every angle you can. Matty's finally going to peek on out, and he's going to finish off that kill. So Crimson finding a response to the 2-0.
Yeah, if you're Gyoza, I mean, if you go back for University of Long Beach, again, like you already pointed out, Seymour, so wonderfully, is that they got through the middle of the map just by way of just sheer aggression in their opening offense, but there is always a way that it could end up happening again, and they try to do it again. The biggest difference is that Matty ends up getting through rocks for free. They put themselves against the Ziggs wall, uncontested. Again, if you're the defensive team here on Raid Search and Destroy, you get to that area first. You want to stun check, if not double chow, because you never know who's over on the pillar side. Who's inside rocks could be Daddy Matty with an XM4 baby getting a 3 spree in the previous go-ahead of things. So now Crimson Gaming looking to get a little momentum going. They're going back to their old ways here, Seymour. They want this B site.
We talk about Fizzle here. Fizzle was able to shut this down last time with no worry in the world. Mike, very close up to Laundry. Already, Prism Hunter going down to Calcut. So advantage to Crimson. This is a big change from that second round, and they're going to get the bomb down as well. So it's planted a 4-on-3. You have to see this retake start suffocating Crimson onto this B site because everybody is around pillars, and Fizzle's going to open up with a trade now. Can't find Calcut, so it's a big stance now for Crimson. Back and forth, but Matty is continuing with that success from round number 3. Randy's the last one alive. 2 players against him. He's just going to back up from Prison. This is a tough one. You got the crossfire from Calcut as well as Mike. You just have to isolate this 1-on-1. You're going to find Calcut, but now you know where Mike is. Takes the gunfight, but the crossfire is too strong.
Man. You got to think right there. I mean, you want to talk about against the clock, against all odds and HP too. Literally 15 HP, just a little hip fire bullet. Gonna be able to find its way naturally to be able to get that last kill. Crimson Gaming, 2 rounds in a row though. What an answer back to CSULB Gold and how they started off this raid search and destroy, huh? I mean, again, you have Calcat just getting aggressive on the underneath laundry and then pushing up against that open staircase. It's able to find first blood, and that really keeps Long Beach Gold on their back foot. Really struggle to be able to take the map back away from Crimson Gaming. And I mean, that's just the struggle that you have when you do lose laundry early as the defensive team. The retakes become all the more troublesome when you're working in the middle of the map. Haywire's going to be able to find Prism for the offense for Long Beach Gold. Going to have to slow down and get again.
And already upgrading from round number 3, you know, putting 2 players towards mid. That first blood's going to give them a lot traded out now from Fizzle. You got a 3-on-3 after that. That, you have to be kicking yourself. Matty probably didn't need to over-aggress that much. So basically a free kill for Fizzle in that sense. But great angle for a Haywire. Going to push him right into Calca. Gyoza going down again. Puts Crimson back on the advantage. And even opens up a route through Zigzag to maybe get in behind Randy. In fact, they aren't going to go aggressive. They're just going to wait for CSU to just play into them proper.
Bombs dropped in such a curious spot. Randy D. Still trying to figure out where the hell they're being shot from here, Seymour. It's just so tough, but Flizzle's going to be able to at least find one. You're down to 20 seconds trying to make a play happen. Mike is able to find Randy, but I mean, Clock is just not in a great spot. If you are Flizzle, going to try to make a play happen in the middle of the map. Mike's laying prone, has the angle covered. It's going to be 3 rounds in a row now for Crimson Gaming. And again, their search is looking pretty darn good. I asked for decisive action throughout the opening of the search and destroy so far. We're about halfway through here, Seymour, and I'm not going to lie. We're getting everything and some more coming out from Crimson Gaming. Being able to read their opponents from Long Beach Gold, being able to adapt to where they have to place themselves, to be able to win these gunfights as well. All things you love to see if you're a fan of Utah.
And really, if you're looking at Utah here, I mean, it all switched when they started anticipating the aggression from Long Beach, because there's a lot of kills that are being given right into the hands of Crimson. For example, the bomb being dropped on prisms, or pillars. That's not really the best case scenario, but if you're Crimson, you're really forcing them into uncomfortable gunfights now, already opening up with a first blood too. Mike gonna push right to the A side. Gyoza with the spot on the bomb, but that's not the bomb planner. In fact, you're gonna find him and you're gonna go for that trade. Mike left all alone in a 1-on-2 now. Very different from the aggression that we've been seeing. Very pound for pound in this round now. Minute left to make the magic happen, and both players stacking up shoulder to shoulder.
Mike has no idea what to do here. I mean, he got so many angles to be aware of, but checks the most important one. Give me the money window. Nobody over by cutout. They're getting bopped and dropped just right on the ass site. Great reactive setup from CSULB Gold. Be able to find these trades, be able to come out on top of that opening flurry. Crimson Gaming will not be able to take the site quickly as they had the B in the previous 2 offenses, but Mike is just trying to fish for a kill. They're on a 6-3 too, so playing for streaks right now too, just trying to keep their life at the end of the round is something you absolutely should be doing here. Be able to help them get out. I mean, like you got like a mustache hair in between them getting artillery strike and not has. Mike wants this kill. We could be able to find this kill. There's the artillery strike. It has been earned. Now just near to be able to get that cruise missile. Gotta keep your life here if you're Mike.
Doesn't even go for the bomb plan. He's hunting for the kill.
Oh!
Prism's gonna have that corner. You're not able to get that secondary streak, but you know, one's good enough. It's a tie game for both of these squads, and I really have to give it to Gyoza there. You know, finding at least a kill in that 1-on-2. You know, you spotted the player dropping onto the bomb. I'm pretty sure he was anticipating that he went for the plant. So you swing wide, you get the player in the corner, dropping the bomb in the corner too. That Mike never was able to pick up since you had to push back into pool 2 Tiki. So Mike, if hunting for kills has that streak, maybe looking to use it to swing this round as you're tied at the halftime.
But just think about having an artillery strike on a map like Raid, right? Being able to retake the AS and D site, being able to defend either of the sites because they're both out in the open, are just so much more doable now. You have that ace in your hole, and you know that Long Beach Gold, that they're aware of it. I mean, Mike getting that challenge, being able to find that killer is really the only reason why, is because, yes, they have the artillery strike, but it's Randy. Find first blood. This is good for Long Beach because you know they want this BS and D site. They found a kill inside laundry.
Exactly what we started off in round number 1. Randy finding that first blood to this half of the map, but the difference is, instead of flooding through mid, all the players for Long Beach are taking control of this B site. and holding them away. Prism with a nice angle, and Maddie, they're going to stuff him out. Anticipate that mid presence. Haywire might be able to drop the bomb onto Fizzle. He's flanked by Gyoza. Big plays from Long Beach, and Mike once again left alone. The feet spots them on Fizzle. Can't finish the kill. The nade, maybe. The Hail Mary is going to lock it down. Doesn't get the... He's going to be hunted now. Prism flanking Fizzle on the opposite side. They're stuffing him. They got that pinch, but they don't need the flank to take that 4th round.
Yeah, and again, we're going to be able to find what's interesting about this offensive push is Randy D, again, in top red, is able to track through the wall inside Laundry that you really want to be able to hold your life. I talked about this in the opening defense. That was from, I believe it was from one of the CSULB's members in their opening defense, really just to play inside Laundry, to shut down just the B push altogether is what you really want. But when that is an opening, Crimson Gaming have to try to fill. That's more time that CSULB Gold have to be able to take the map. So big win for them. Now find themselves 1 up. Another offensive round coming up from Crimson Gaming. Remember, they have that artillery strike, but it's Zaddy Matty to find first blood. They want this B plant.
And another first blood to the attackers as well. Provides a stressful retake. Gyoza taking a little bit of stress off the shoulders. Matty going down a 3-on-3. You have a nice crossfire from Mike and team, but 2 players go down almost instantly from Laundry as well as Pillar. And Gyoza now just looking for that last pick. Actually already gone, so just needs the defuse. Plenty of time to do so. CSU, a very, very commanding round.
Yeah, so now they put themselves on map point 5-3 here, Seymour. And again, it's just funny because Long Beach Gold, they recognize Crimson Gaming. It's like, oh, you want to play smart and effective? You want to play... you want to play reactive and just work throughout the map as a team? Okay, we're able to do the same thing. And that retake was just so wonderful. The timing for the pinch for these kills to come through, like you said, kills at the same moment of time. You even saw right there on the screen for the best play of the round. That's what you want to be able to showcase for a championship caliber team. Being able to showcase adaptation and perseverance to be able to push through whatever the enemy team is throwing at you. Now, Crimson Gaming, can you win 2 rounds in a row to force out a round 11? This Long Beach Gold roster looking to go up 2-0 in the maps.
Well, timing's being on Long Beach right now, but Mike, you still have that artillery strike. I mean, generally, you can straight up give up a bomb site, play for the information, know that the plant's coming down, and drop that artillery right on it for a free kill, and even possibly putting the bomb in an uncomfortable position. You don't want to lose a player early. You really have to play around the streak if you're Crimson Gaming. And you can tell by the passiveness that they're holding on this map. They're literally only playing for information proper.
Only trying to play for information. They're going to find it. Prism Hunter takes down Mike. No artillery strike. Now you're hoping Maddie, Haywire, and Calcat you're going to be able to close out this round knowing that you still have that streak to play with. But where's the bomb going? Randy D is able to find Maddie. Gyoza with the bomb is starting to move their way over towards B, and there's no Crimson Gaming members over here. They thought it was going A.
The great bamboozle from A to B through the middle of the map. Randy opening it wide open. Now, you're only down to Calcat and Haywire. An interesting one-on-one through Tiki. A dance for the ages and a dance for the stars. Prism going to be swinging into this and closes out for Long Beach to save the search and destroy.
Yeah, and again, it's just one of those things. Within those final moments, that's what really sets Raid apart from other search and destroy maps. And when you're thinking about Moscow, when you're thinking about Miami's just such a massive map. But those rotations from B to A just don't happen in this map or from this mode in game title because of just how big all the other maps are. But just such a brilliant play from Long Beach Gold. They made a lot of noise. How they found 2 kills over there. Just go ahead and just skip across the mid. We didn't find any resistance by having our lurking player getting shot up while they were over there anyway, so let's just go for an easy plan. Brilliant take for even having a numbers advantage in a round that they probably shouldn't have, that they should have been able to win regardless, but it's those little things, Seymour, that really bring a smile to my old and bearded.
You gotta be kicking yourself if you're Utah. You get that artillery strike so early, you never even have a chance to use it. You never even have a chance to drop it on the side. You really have to be kind of looking at stuff like that when you look over the VODs, maybe when you're studying a game like this, that you maybe want to play passive, play for the information, and just bait Long Beach to try to touch that bomb down and use that score streak to put you at a player advantage. Like you say, just the advantage was not there for Crimson Gaming in that search and destroy in that last round. Now you're moving into control. I have it literally written down on my paper that this is going to be interesting because, I mean, you look at a team like Long Beach who's shown so much control in this series between both teams. Now you're in a map that definitely on paper very bad for both squads. The one game, I a successful control win for Long Beach in their history, but and your Crimson, you're 1-12 in it. You really have to pull through on this one. You have to scratch the bottom of the barrel and hope that you can use this as a swing in your series.
Neither of these teams either have played checkmate control either. So I mean, Crimson Gaming coming into this, I mean, if there's one thing that you got going for yourself was that Crimson Maddie was really coming to their own. Whether they're going to load in with an XM4 or Crick 6, I'm not too sure how the roles actually work, but pretty much what I'm being told between a lot of players, collegiate, pros, and amateurs alike, that if you're not playing the XM4, then you're pretty much throwing at this point because how potent that weapon can be and how it enables an AR player to get aggressive. And we even saw that from the CDL this previous weekend from teams like the Minnesota Rocker, even with Major Maniac, and how aggressive and how much value they were able to find with a standing AR, known how slow they used to be in Modern Warfare. The same could be said for this university or this Utah University Crimson Gaming roster. I mean, we saw Crimson Maddie really feeling themselves in that raid search and destroy throughout a couple of rounds, going through the middle of the map, getting aggressive with the AR, being able to lock down longer lines of sight while also being able to get those medium and close range engagements. That's what checkmate control is all about. That's where you're going to be able to find offensive rounds. That's when you're going to be able to swing defensive rounds in your favor. But if it's really scary for Utah University, going back to that crossroad strike hard point, how gunfights were happening left, right, and center, they really never won one convincing, Seymour. So they're going to have to be able to at least win their ones, at least come out of a 3v1 trade if they're going to want to be able to close out control on checkmate to really start the fine workings of a.
Well, luckily for Crimson, Checkmate Control is one of the more accessible offensive maps when you look at it. I mean, you really have to start hoping that you don't get wiped all four players down, because that gives the defensive team the line of scrimmage to maybe hold you in your spawns. But on the sense of that, plane controls everything. That's where those mid to long range gunfights come from. It's where it stems from, in fact. And that XM4 working alongside the AK-74Us will provide a lot of cover for both the B site and the A site. So really, in the sense, you're looking at mid control, plane control early, and if you can capture that A or B within maybe the first 30 seconds, maybe within the first 45 seconds, you'd be having an excellent start to this attack. So what I'm looking for from Crimson is a player like Matty to work alongside Calcat on that AK-74U, take control of the plane, and provide your other players, your objective players, the accessibility to touch down on the A side, touch down on the B side, and maybe cap them early.
Yeah, I mean that's what it really comes down to. I've been speaking to a lot of different minds, and you even said it right there too, Seymour. When it comes down to checkmate, any map mode combo that involves checkmate inside of it, search and control or hardpoint, it's all the more eccentric. Comes out of control. Plane control. Do you have it?
Exactly.
Because those wings, man, I tell you, the sight lines that you're able to find from the wings and even from the P4 lane over by where the A zone exists underneath the belly of the plane, that's all plane control, baby. You got to be able to look through those sight lines, and that's why those ARs, like Seymour was talking about, you got to get online and you got to be able to match the pace of your 74U, so that way you can then send a rogue player in to really start bringing the hurt over towards their spawns, if not being able to give yourself reconnaissance where the hit for offense and defense alike are starting to come from. I mean, we've also been able to see a lot of offensive round wins, both from collegiate all the way up to the pro level, happen within a finite amount of seconds. And who knows, when Utah University really get their backs pushed against the wall, that they really might be able to bounce on back for an offensive round win, because it's tough out here in the streets of checkmate, baby. But we're going to be able to find out. Can CSULB Gold close this out in 3 maps, or Crimson Gaming going to send it to a map 4?
Well, let's take a nice little flight over to Checkmate, in fact, as game number 3 is starting up. Like you said, Long Beach, as always, on the gold side, Crimson on the red side to your right. And they're going to be actually starting on the offense for Crimson. So this is what we were looking for. You're looking at Matty to go for that plane control. He's already heading over there. The rest of the team in suit and actually going for box control. Might be looking for a B hit early, which is interesting for Crimson.
Trying to get plane control, just trying to help out their 74Us in there, but it's Flizzle that comes out on top of it. I mean, defensive side, now being able to win engagements, now they're going to start just feasting. Not even a single kill in that opening engagement for the side of Crimson Gaming, and I believe that we do have the top of the screen actually swapped backwards. If CSULB black going ahead, just really feasting in this gunfight. But coming back into the mix off the respawn, a handful of gunfights do come the way of Utah University, but they're going to be able to have the numbers to set themselves on the zone. So far, the clock being stalled out.
Well, Matty luckily allowing them to break through that spawn trap that you saw Prism and Fizzle setting up. And now they're on the B side, getting some progression. Calcat push up into the plane. Fizzle actually gonna find the gunfight. Calcat should have had that dead to rights. You haven't taken progression on the B side. You're finally getting contested. Gyoza on there for a 2-piece. Make it 3. Gyoza heating up early in this control. And they send on Crimson back to the spawn.
38 seconds, so really only get 1.5 good scholars try to work your way back inside of one of these zones. You got to take a progress over towards B, but it's like you said, it's just so damn tough to be able to take that zone first. And well, it's also just so damn tough to get CSULB gold out from your spawn side. It also seems here. Seymour, I mean, your Prism Hunter, they're on a 2 spree throughout their 3rd life now. They're still existing over towards the spawn of Crimson Gaming. You're down to 20 seconds left. Still down by 3 respawns, so this is doable, but you gotta get out of your spawn to stop the clock.
I mean, definitely pitching a tent over at the spawns for Crimson. Long Beach really holding it to him. Fizzle taking out Calcat. Gyoza working alongside on Maddie. One-on-one on the side. On the B side, going to be lost to Fizzle, so big plays. Now you're down to 10 seconds. Life advantage to gold as well. You have to imagine that the more you pour out, the more it's just going to go towards gold here. They're going to find round 1 and a successful defense to break open this control.
Yeah, and again, the same thing that I was talking about, Long Beach Gold on Hardpoint, just really got exemplified there on the checkmate control. They found themselves a handful of kills. What did the likes of both Prism and Flizzle do? They're like, okay, cool, we got the kills through the plane. Now let's go ahead and just fly underneath the wings. Let's go see what's going on in their spawns. You want to tag in there, Randy? Yeah, you want to get in there, Gyoza? All right, that sounds perfectly fine. And they were just frolicking throughout the map. Yes, Maddie did walk away 6-3. But it just was not enough space. If you were not winning that opening gunfight convincingly, you were not making your way through the middle of the map. And that's what's so troublesome about trying to hit B first. Those angles are all the more isolated for the defensive side. Now CSULB Gold looking to take their offensive round.
Oh, playing control, Mike and Calcat picking up that with a nice 2-piece between them. But you still see Gyoza with a little bit of succession towards B and might even come out with a tick of progression. Where's Crimson at? Because they were winning the gunfights. Absolutely giving away free real estate to Long Beach in that gunfight. Now Prism underneath the plane as well, keeping their sights on the B side of the map. More kills towards Crimson. They're hoping to push it back to the spawn. Exactly what gold did to them last time. Randy now staying alive, keeping them away from their spawn, saying no can do. This is not your home.
Oh, it is not. Down to 55 seconds. Crimson Gaming, 3 life lead. Gonna look to push that all the more further. Good trigger discipline there from Calcat. Just really waited to make sure that Gyoza was all alone. Maybe they could have found a 2-piece, but it's 1. Not going to be able to find themselves a good bunch of kills in a row for Crimson Gaming. Their defense looking good. But again, CSULB Black, they opened up to try to hit B initially. Even their split openings saw no attempt to try to retake the plane back. That's why they're struggling, but they still have presence on the A zone.
Exactly, and they don't even have lives in their favor either. Randy finds more progression. Being stuffed back by Haywire, even coming out with the help from Prism. Big overwatch right there from Prism to help them find the second tick of progression. Calcat finally going to retake this site. Has to look to the player who's overextended through the A site. Cleans up Randy. Success from Crimson here. 5 life advantage proper. And now gold, you know, with only 30 seconds, you have to start flooding onto these sites. You have to find something. Prism maybe with an opening now as they push right back onto this. They're going to stop the clock, and big trades now giving Long Beach some life on the A side here. Haywire trying to break it uncomfortably. Toss that corner from a flash. And Gyoza, they're going to hold on to this. They're going to secure point A and look to point B for 1:20.
Yeah, and they're stopping the clock continuously here. That's what's most important here for CSULB Gold. Randy's going to hop off it. Has a isolated 1v1 versus Mike. Also waited a couple shots before they ended up taking those shots over towards Mike, but it's Calcat that comes back in to find 2 with an XM4. This is going to put Long Beach Gold back towards their spawn, but you got a minute left to play. So here's where you got to slow down. You can't just try to take gunfights all willy-nilly here, Seymour. You got to slow down because the lives are not in your favor. You only got 3 respawns left for Long Beach Gold, and you got to win 1 gunfight convincingly to stop that clock.
And even still, gold, I mean, just playing at the bottom half of their lives. Prism, nice little 2-piece here, cleaned up by Calcat. Keeping them away from the B sides, everything for Crimson. They just have to lock this down from all angles because B, I mean, there's so many line of sights to be had for these defenders. And Calcat really exploiting that, losing out to Fizzle. It's going to be an opening now for CSU. No respawns. Maddie locking it down. The nice D-Madi going to take 1 kill with the crate, finding the second one. Prism in the back line. He's all alone. Randy all alone in this one. Last alive 14 seconds, a 1v7. Oh, if he did this, I would actually go insane. But I mean, Crimson, they've just been looking really good on this B site. They have it locked down. They have it on a par. It's going to be a 1-1 now.
And again, it's just so tough to take an offensive round here. You really put yourself on the back foot. There's only a handful of times that I actually see the B zone captured first, and it's only happened in really big mismatches. Whether it's like round of 128 for cups, or even for CCL matches too, when there are like big mismatches. Seymour, it's just really tough to win those opening gunfights. To take the B zone early on. I'll see the A zone captured quickly, and then the B zone really gets scrapped over. But you lose so many lives early. And although Long Beach Gold, they found themselves in an early advantage, Crimson Gaming, the second that they recognized that Long Beach Gold were starting to slow their pace up, it goes back to the search and destroy when Crimson Gaming were starting to take rounds. They were just playing so methodical, so they slowed down their own tempo at the same time. They're being able to read the gunfights. They find the isolated lines of sight. They're able to find the kills, so they're able to win an offensive round. Same for Long Beach Gold. Now can Crimson Gaming take a zone on their offense?
Well, it seems like Long Beach, when they start getting a little bit electric in this series, you just see the calm Crimson Gaming take the advantage here. Now, in the sense of it, you see a 3-for-3 trade for them. Mike going to stop the time on the A site as he does find that finishing kill. Damage from the team nade, but nobody there to finish it up. Now, you have steady progression on the A site. 2 players on it. You have to see this flood coming out from Fizzle. He has 2 players to worry about. Mike's going to give him a free challenge and even take that kill. Mike feeling himself right now. As A's about to have 2 ticks of progression, Mike is heating up in this control point for the second attack on Crimson side.
Got 13 OBJ points on a 4 spree, 13-11 for them, and they're just going to actually give up the A zone here. This is smart from Long Beach because you don't know what's happening on the other side of these boxes, but taking plane control would be a virtue. Prism Hunter gets the last laugh. They're going to be able to sit up here for the time being. It is until Crimson Gaming try to retake this, but 2 minutes on the board here, Seymour. 2 respawns in between these 2 teams, and Crimson Gaming, they are heating up as a collective unit. They're fighting so many kills. Mike is still on this spree. 6 spree, 15-11. Give them number 7, baby.
Oh, he wants it so bad, but he knows not to overextend. You're seeing the controlled pace of Mike come out right there. Finally cleaned up from the double cross that Gyoza and Prism had. They're going to take back the B side. No control, no progression there. They're going to decap it, but still the kills favoring Crimson in the trade side of it. You said it. They're coming back. They're pulling themselves together, and they're heating up here in control. Fizzle looking to slow this down, looking to put the tempo back into the favor of Long Beach. Can't successfully find that second kill. And Daddy Matty gonna finally go down. A trade on both sides. Just if they keep going for these 1-for-1s, Long Beach are gonna take that all day.
It's all just about depleting the clock here if you're a Long Beach Gold, because you're still down in 3 lives in total, so you're not gonna win off the respawns. And you can still play for the control progress. So even if you get wiped here, you can slowly work your way back in, given how open this zone is. But they're winning the gunfights here, so they're sending Crimson Gaming back continuously. This is their win condition to complete the clock. 1 minute and 8 seconds battle inside the plane. Slide challenge is going to be good for Prism Hunter. And again, Crimson Gaming are looking for a convincing gunfight all the while. CSULB Gold have even up the lives.
Well, from this hot start that Crimson Gaming had, now you're even 10 lives apiece proper. So Long Beach really fighting back and doubling down on this attack that Crimson bringing them to. Now they're really on their back foot. You got 47 seconds left. Gyoza getting fed a kill from Mike. You have to worry about that player who's pushed all up through the plane. That's going to be Calcat finding those routes all day. Spots Prism, but not going to take that fight. Is Fizzle going to be ready for this? You see that gunfight going to go to that 74U. Fizzle absolutely cracked with that shot from the back of the map. And really struggling here. Crimson can't even step foot on this at this point. Haywire and Maddie going to find 2. But still no stoppage of the clock here. You got 20 seconds left. Randy and Prism flanking, finding the backline of Crimson. And this is looking like Long Beach are going to successfully find another one unless they can stop this clock. They have no lives remaining in their back pocket. Gyoza going to find another one. 7 seconds left.
God.
No respawns. Fizzle, he's going to take the final 2. And Long Beach successfully shut down this attack and find their next round.
Oh my God, I thought Maddie was going to find the recentering for 3 there. I almost just leapt out of my chair, knocked my green screen down, and flipped over one of my desks, Seymour. That, oh boy. But at least you were, at least you were able to take a zone here. That's the big stark difference in between the 2 offenses so far for Crimson Gaming. Now you're looking at the kills and the disparity in between these 2 teams. I don't have my calculator. I packed it away. I don't go to college anymore, and I don't want to pull one up on Windows either, Seymour. So I'm just telling you right now that so far in the lead, are Crimson Gaming just giving off looking from top to bottom? There's a quick maths for you at home. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. I dare you. But CSULB Gold, they're looking for a strong round here. That even if you don't win on offense, you want to be able to walk away with a significant amount of kills. And that's not how you want to start, baby. Doubled on up, Daddy Matty. You got to be able to find two.
I mean, Matty really being the father of this control here. Right, finding a nice little two-piece, make it a third in his life as well. He's starting his streak of his own to make it 4. He's looking to push them on back. He's already full wiped the team, but he's going to be dropped. And Long Beach fighting out of their spawns. They're going to find successful kills to break through, push themselves to the A site. Now Gyoza has Mike on his left. You're going to check this. Mike behind the pillar. Going to go for that pick. And Mike, who's been heating up in this control, is going to find it. Prism on the opposite side has control. Going to win it on a crucial one-on-one to maybe find the second tick of progression over at B. Long Beach looking really good now on this attack, but Crimson, I mean, we saw them have a slow start on the defense last time, and as the game went on, they were just heating up more and more.
The B-Zone's still taking on by. We're about to see a second tick. Randy, hip fire from the XM4. Yeah, don't take a second look at this Treyarch. Okay, second tick of progress has been gained at the B-Zone for Randy. D has another one dropped down in front of him, but Mike is able to find that kill. The clock has been stalled out just at about 49 seconds continuously. So now CSULB Gold, do you reattempt to try to take this B zone, or do you force them out from yellow over by the AS and D site and try to take the A zone here on control? Mike is here, is trying to find the shots through the cargo container. Long Beach Gold, they would really love to be able to get this plane zone in their favor to extend the clock past a minute, while also being able to find themselves a handful of kills. The middle of this round have been good, but it's all Crimson Gaming so far. And again, if you're not winning the offensive round, you want to guarantee yourself the defensive round in 5. But Flizzle's able to find themselves a good kill. But who Matty comes in to find 3 to break things up.
Woohoo! This guy's on fire proper. That's the 3K that you didn't see last round coming to fruition in this this round. In fact, 14 seconds now, life advantage to Crimson. And that 2 ticks of pressure is feeling real good, but when you got Mike and Daddy heating up the way they are, 3 players going back on down, we're going to be seeing a round number 5 in this control. And like you said, I think Crimson might have the defense as well. And I think the difference maker is that Long Beach, they have been a little bit more passive in giving away deaths. So this could favor them in the fact that they've had less, they actually, I don't know what comes out of it. I don't know my calculator either, but Long Beach might have the less interactions for their death feed.
Look, there's one thing that I'm going to say just about CSULB Gold and their offense is that they have so much blind trust in just a solo player to try to make the play happen over by the zone, which is why they saw 2 ticks of progress over towards B. That's not going to really cut it here, especially on checkmate. Again, you're just out in the open. Crimson Gaming, they have more than enough kills to be able to last them another round. They are on defense here for round number 5. CSULB Gold, they have to win an offensive round here. Crimson Gaming just have to hold tight. They have to win the opening gunfights so that way they can feel comfortable, and they are able to do so.
Well, Crimson do get gifted that defensive half now in this round number 5. It's their chance to have a swing game in this control, take their first round against Long Beach, and even maybe start the encounter to a reverse sweep. Randy gonna, with the help of Prism, find Calcat, maybe hope to take it towards the B site. They have right now progression at A. Gyoza and Prism Hunter both stacking up on this. They're going to have a tick before the fight comes in. Prism keeping them off even more. Matty not going to touch down on this. Now, you look at it prior to this, that Long Beach, they were able to find the A site last time as well in their first attack, but it's the B site you have to be worried about against Crimson.
Yeah, and you remember in their opening offense, too, like you were talking about there, Seymour, is that they have 2 minutes on the board, but they still can capture the B zone. But look at the way that they're playing in towards the spawn. Flizzle is so close. If he locks down this kill on a mark, which he does, that opens things up wonderfully. Now on a 4 spree, 27 and 23 for them. The opening for the spawns and the floodgates are coming on through for Crimson again. You gotta get these rats out from the back part of your spawn. Flizzle has wood control. Is now gonna be traded out, but here comes Gyoza. The B progress. It's already past 2 ticks. CSU Gold. They have 2 players that are just stacking this, and Gyoza behind ball, 3 of them.
Well, Gyoza, some nice little position there to just uproot Crimson. Prism with 2. Are they going to find that last player? Mike's still alive somehow. You got that back help for Calcat, who's just holding prone on this B site. He's finally going to be checked. Gyoza going to clean him up. Now Matty has to touch down on this. Fizzle's going to take him out. It's the race on for Crimson. They have to touch it. Long Beach are going to take an attacking round for checkmate, and they're going to 3-0 sweep Crimson Gaming in this week 3 matchup to start us off.
Yeah, and this was a really tight control. Again, we went defense for defense. The only offensive round that we had was in the round number 5 by Long Beach Gold, and they played it so well. Again, in their second offense was the same problem that Crimson Gaming had throughout all of their offenses. There is no way that you were winning that many gunfights convincingly unless like you're Ottawa Black versus say like some random team out of some random division that just has yet to be able to even play a single match yet. I mean, like, listen, you got to try to play for the A zone here because that opens up so many opportunities that you just saw happen for CSULB Gold. Once they started getting that progress over towards A, they started just tag teaming, almost like a baton race. That the second that one submachine gun went down, the other one was working right in towards the spawn for Crimson Gaming. That always kept them outnumbered. I mean, back when we had control in Black Ops 4, it was still 5v5, so you were able to at least try to reinforce and come back, still being one player down. It's 4v4. You're trying to come back in there with 3-2 players versus the 3 that are just stacking on top of the zone. Easier things than said than done. Crimson Gaming could not stand up. They could not work out of their spawn in that last round number 5 defense. CSUB Gold going to be able to get their second win in this split.
That catch from Long Beach, everything at the end there, the overextensions, the gunfights just favoring them in that last round. Successful attack's going to lead them to a 3-0 sweep against Crimson once again to open us in this week 3. Now, we don't get to see Checkmate or Garrison to close it out. It's going to end right there for this first matchup. And I have to say, I'm seeing some sparks from Crimson. Yeah, there's some stuff to work on in it when you go back to the VODs, especially that artillery strike that you had in that search to destroy. You maybe want to kind of tighten around and maybe play for some strats around that streak. But you look across the board, and after that hard point, I saw some life from Crimson that if they can elaborate on that, if they can just stick to their VODs and maybe upgrade their strategies, they can be a strong team. They could even maybe next time upset Long Beach and take a few maps off of them. I see potential in Crimson Gaming, and really a 3-0 doesn't tell it all.
No, it really doesn't. Again, I mean, when you go back to the Search and Destroy, Crimson Gaming were able to showcase a lot of good strengths and a lot of good opening narratives. Again, like I said, this is only the first split here, Seymour. So you still have a lot of time inside of your Pacific Division, within your own A Division, within the entire West Conference to be able to learn. You have so much tape to study. To be able to see yourself at the end of the season, a very strong Search and Destroy team, a very good control team. Hell, you might even see themselves really heating things up because, I mean, you have a very strong AR, like what we saw from Maddie, what we ended up seeing from Calcat from an SMG, and the flexibility to be able to pick up an XM4 when need be. Utah University might be a late bloomer within the CCL C3 season, but CSUB Gold, again, being able to take a lot of trades off of their sister team of CSULB Black. Again, a team, if you remember, is continuously putting themselves in a position. I believe that they are number 4 this week in our top 25 list. Make sure you go on College Cod Twitter to let everybody know how you feel about those placings, and if your college is on there, of course. But still, they have a lot to learn, and they have a lot that has been trickled on down from their number 4 sister team in CSULB Black. So I can only imagine that going on forward, that they could be a really big dark horse with the division.
Well, you look at this match from today, Crimson Gaming going to fall short, and they're going to fall to an 0-5 standing in the lead. You're looking at California State University Long Beach Gold. They're going to be moving to a 2-3 standing, so pulling a little bit more going to that equalizer 3-3 hopefully in the next matchup tonight. It was the dominance from Long Beach that brought them to this lead, but hopefully Crimson can pull it back next time and maybe find their first win of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, College COD is going to head to a little bit of a break and head over to the alpha round for a gap between our first match and our last match over on the Bravo stream. So we're gonna throw it out. You're gonna hop to the A stream. You're gonna see some more College COD over here, and we'll be back with some more action.